My name is Charlotte Samples, and I chose to do my action research project over the effects of writing in math to help deepen the students' understanding of the concepts that were taught. I strongly believe that every student can learn math. And when you can explain a concept to another person, then you truly understand that concept versus just being able to get to an answer. So when I introduced the idea of writing in my class to my students, I got the normal, but this is math class, not language arts from my kids. So let's just say that they were less than excited to be writing in my class. I began this journey by giving students which one doesn't belong type of questions, which are low floor, high ceiling questions. Anybody and everybody can answer all of these questions because it's not based on your mathematical knowledge per se, but on noticing the things that are happening, the differences that are between the different squares. So everybody should be able to answer the question in some way, somehow. I wanted them to feel confident about what it was that they were writing down. I wanted them to also understand the importance of clearly communicating through proper sentence structure, grammar, and mathematical vocabulary. The importance of writing in math became increasingly evident whenever I had to WebEx with students or message students back and forth when they were remote or quarantined for one reason or another. And they were struggling to communicate to me what it was that they were misunderstanding. So at the beginning of all this, I wanted to know, how often do my students write outside of school? And I found that 81% of my students wrote less than 3 times a week outside of the classroom. I really believe this has become a lost pastime because of all of the different entertainment and media and social media that we have today. So, as we continue through our writing in class, I wanted to find out, did they believe that writing helped to clarify their thinking? And I found that 41% of my students did believe that it did clarify their thinking. But when I dug into the data a little bit more, I found that 20% of my pre AP kids believe this, but 55% of my on level kids believe that it helped clarify their thinking. So, of course, I wondered, why such the difference? Why is it that I've got pre AP kids that don't really believe that writing helps them, but then I've got quite a few of my on level kids that do believe this? So I brainstormed ideas and I wondered if my pre AP kids still believed that there's just one right way to get to one right answer, which is a wrong math thought. Is it because a lot of my pre AP kids are just really good at mimicking a process? And so that's why they've been so successful at school over the years? So I wanted to dig into it more. So I continue to push my kids on these which one doesn't belong type activities so that they had to look for multiple right answers. They had to look for multiple reasons. And they had to work on writing their thoughts and their justifications. So, toward the end of all of this, I asked my students again what they believed happened. Did they believe that they grew over the course of the year through this writing? And I found that 71% of my students did believe that they either stayed the same or they did grow. So, of course, based on the past data, I wanted to know, is there a difference between my pre AP and my on level again? And I found that 60% of my pre AP kids believed that they had either stayed the same or grown, but 81% of my on level kids did. So at the end of all of this, I really kind of was left with more questions that I really wanted to dig into. I wondered, does my philosophy of writing in class, in math class, has it hurt some of my pre AP kids and just really helped some of my on level kids? Are we putting pre AP kids into classes properly? Um, I really felt like it all just left me with more questions. But in the future, I definitely want to keep digging into this idea of communication in all of the different disciplines, and I want to push it with whoever I work